One of the greatest sports entertainers of all time just retired on Saturday. Let's take a look at Saturday night main event and see what the public's reaction is to it. And also, I'm going to be giving my opinions and my reactions to what conspired on Saturday night. So to begin, we had Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi, and of course, we kind of knew where that was gonna go, you know? Obafemi was gonna get put over in a way that didn't harm him by getting pinned, and of course, they were setting up Drew McIntyre, who was barred from SmackDown earlier that week. And it felt a little corny at the end because we had the future NXT star Obafemi with Cody Rhodes kind of embracing at the end. It's kind of like the future and the new generation. One Piece reference. I don't know if anyone else watches, but overall, it was a pretty decent match. But the ending, it felt predictable. Now we go on to Sol Ruca versus Bayley. Now that match was actually genuinely really good. I've never seen Sol Ruca wrestle in a full match. I don't watch NXT as much, but I've heard and seen clips online of Sol Ruca and other NXT superstars. That match surprised me a lot, and also my family who was watching with me, we thought they've never seen Sol Ruca, so they were like, "Who's this? She's actually really good." So they were wondering who she was and explaining how she was really good, and how they wanted to see more from him. And if that doesn't tell you exactly how big of a superstar Sol Ruca can be in the future, then I don't know what exactly will. Having them salute at the end was pretty nice as well. It was a little corny, but you know, it felt pretty nice. I think every match did that little salute at the end. I don't know if Cody and Obafemi did, I don't remember. Which brings me to the next match, probably the highlight of the night, I think. Seeing the tag team match between Leon Slater and Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, also known as Phenomenal Lee, or as some other people like to call him, AJ Lee. That was actually a genuinely great match. I love seeing tag team matches, especially when there's high flyers, seeing all those moves they do from the top rope, going to the outside of the ring as well. Javon Evans can jump. He's bouncy. He's not lying. He's bouncy. I'm pretty sure that slip was unintentional, but that didn't damage the match for me. Leon Slater actually saved him. He covered him for the pin, and then they went on to do their match finish. Seeing those four in a ring was amazing to see. I feel like the tag team department in the WWE has been pretty weak lately. There have been some tag teams that they haven't been using to their full potential. You know, the Motor City Machine Guns was one of my favorite tag teams when they were in TNA. Being able to see them in the WWE, it's great, but I feel like they have been underused. But overall, that match, I think it went pretty well. And then we got a little bit of a surprise match. The Miz came out in his old gear that he used against John Cena when they had the rivalry in the WWE, and you know, he did his whole heel shtick where he was calling out John Cena and saying he should have been a part of the tour, which led to R-Truth coming out in full John Cena gear, of course protecting his idol, his childhood idol, and that was pretty funny to see. But he did reveal to us that the Miz was playing with Nick Aldis's balls. As in, he took out one of the names from the balls in the tournament, or John Cena's retirement tournament match, to see who would face him in the final match, and it turned out to be Joe Hendry's ball. So Joe Hendry appeared, and they did a little 5-knuckle shuffle with R-Truth and Joe Hendry on the Miz, you know, a little face and heel action in between the two. I think overall it was pretty funny to see, you know, I guess comedic talent Joe Hendry, but newly signed to the WWE, and then R-Truth, who's the current comedic talent. It was pretty amazing to see those two, or those three, interact, especially on John Cena's final match. It felt like it was bringing the vibes up a little more just to get to that main event, which now brings us to the main event, Gunther versus John Cena. A lot of people think that Gunther shouldn't have been the final opponent, but I disagree. I think Gunther was the perfect opponent. He's the perfect heel. He's okay with being hated, and a lot of people hate him already just because of his heel character and his heel work he's been doing. So of course, whoever's going to be versing John Cena in his final match is going to get booed. So why not put the person who wants to develop that heat into, you know, making sure it can go on through the rest of the year and boost him a little bit. Of course, the match itself, being John Cena's last match, had a little bit of a slow build up. It was amazing to see, you know, John Cena kind of put everything on the line. His chest was red by the end of it, and seeing him be able to put Gunther through a table, or through the announce table, and also going through so many finishers, and Gunther kicking out of the Super AA or the AA from the top rope was unexpected. I thought, you know, they would give John Cena the final hurrah, the final win, so he could go off on a positive end on his career, but they twisted the tables and they made John Cena tap out. It took him a while for him to tap out. I think he went through 1 or 2 sleeper holds, and Gunther just giving him constant elbows onto the side of his head. Overall, John Cena finished his career tapping out with a smile on his face. And I think it was pretty decent send-off for him. Gunther getting absolute genuine heat from the people in DC, booing him to all hell. The arena was silent by the end of it. It was amazing to see just everyone's shocked faces, celebrities, people who among the crowd alike, you know, everyone was just unexpected, and it felt like it was very interesting to say the least. But after John Cena was laying there and Gunther escapes the ring as quickly as possible. We were led with him just kind of soaking in the moment, and then people from the back started to come out. Now, or who was leading the line to come out to the ring and support John Cena in his final moments in the WWE? None other than Booker of the Year, Triple H. That was sarcasm, because he was met with the absolute loudest boos I have ever heard in a WWE event. He was getting booed to all hell just because, I don't know if it's because of his booking from the last year or from the last, year and a half, or for the booking of his retirement run, or for tonight's result, but the fans let him know exactly what they thought about him. Now, this didn't only happen when he came out. It happened when he was mentioned on the little promo video that they did at the end, where they were showing John Cena in the ring. They did this little lower third thing where they put his camera and then the video to showcase his career. Vince McMahon didn't even get booed, surprisingly, but every time Triple H was shown, or he was on camera, they didn't fail to tell him what they actually thought about him. You think this would take away from the moment, but I think it was pretty nice seeing CM Punk and Cody Rhodes give him the title one last time for him to hold up. A lot of it felt unplanned. It felt like it was kind of in the moment. Closing remarks, I would have to say, it was fun to see John Cena for one final year. A lot of people don't get that opportunity to, wrestle for an entire year, although I think Cena wanted more than the 30, I don't know how many dates he got, but then he would risk injury and then his schedule would be messed up. But I'm grateful we got to see him for this entire year, and he let everyone know that this was going to be his final match, and he's probably going to stay true to that. I don't think he's ever going to get back in the ring. Maybe as like a supporting role, or he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame this upcoming WrestleMania. And we are very grateful for John Cena's career. I know I watched it when I was a kid, so being able to get that final goodbye, it felt like we got closure on a career that's on the never seen 17. That 17-time world champion got to end his career how he wanted to, instead of the other way around, through injuries or just constantly coming back into the ring. Ric Flair. But nonetheless, I'm appreciative that we got to see this and that he's able to close his career how he wanted to, and we're very grateful for that. Now we move on to the post show. Now the post show is where they have commentators talk to usually the talent. They used to do those post interview shows, but I think they stopped it once Brock Lesnar came back, because the reporters were probably gonna ask questions about Brock Lesnar, but they do it in front of an audience now. I think they might have done something like this before, but they did an interview portion with Mr. Triple H himself, Paul Levesque, and all you could hear in the crowd were chants for AEW. It's time for Tony Khan to capitalize on this. If I was him, I would, take this to the moon, try to do everything you can to get those eyes that are leaving the WWE and going into, look at other forms of wrestling to book it better. This is your opportunity to shine. Take advantage of it. I don't think there's ever going to be a bigger time where AEW is going to be mentioned. Yeah, I think it's time for him to take advantage while he can. Now let's go online and see some people's opinions about the show. A nice little detail is John Cena smiling before tapping out. Yeah, that was pretty nice. I think this is his way of, being grateful for his career and being grateful for the opportunities that he was given and being grateful for the ability to have some closure at the end. He realized, it was all over, so it's time to, hang it up, and that's exactly what he did, and he put Gunther over. And now Gunther has the absolute most heat in the entire business, I think, as of right now. It's pretty nice to seeing the little smile while he's, I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet because, he's giving up. The guy who never gives up is giving up. I think it's been the first time he's tapped out in about like 20 years. Fact check me on that, but still nice to see nonetheless. And this was funny. We saw the camera pan towards the audience, and there was a guy putting his arms out to, dap up someone else, and he was kind of holding it there, and me and my family were kind of wondering, we were like, oh, is he gonna get aired? And eventually someone came in and they finished the dap up, but it was pretty funny to see.
The World Tag Team Champion!
Yes, here we've got the picture of the coldest picture of all time, the greatest ever do it. We have John Cena holding both titles given to him by Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes again crying at the end. Give a little heartfelt interview. Generally insane, I'm seeing people saying Cena tapping was bad. This puts over Gunther like fucking crazy. Cena hasn't tapped in over 20 years. So, like I said before, I think this is the first time in 20 years he's tapped out. Nobody outside geeks care about Gunther. People with mixed reactions saying Cena tapping was good, but that goofy ass, well, shucks, smile was not. Again, to each their own. Bro put him in a sleeper for 5 straight minutes and made him tap. Actually in the running for the most hated Austrian in history. Match did exactly what it was supposed to. Couldn't agree more. And here we have, the opposite side of the spectrum. It was the right way in the end. That smile too was a nice touching moment. Again, someone here and he smiled, he wanted this. It makes sense, which I guess I kind of agree with. This is probably what he wanted to end his career like. Cena grabbing the camera to give his cameraman a moment of glory, and production team cutting away from the cameras. Cena is holding to a far shot so the camera dude doesn't get his cameo. Perfect. Welcome back, Kevin Dunn. Cena in his last match, during his entrance, he took the camera from Stu, the cameraman, of course, his cameraman, we all know, and put it on Stu, but production, for some reason, cut it to like a wide angle where you could see it happening from the audience, but they didn't want to show Stu's face for some reason. You got like a half a second glimpse of Stu at the end, but they fucked it up. They fucked up the moment that Cena was trying to create. Fuck you, WWE, for that. We all wanted to see Stu. I know I did. And after the show went off air, there were loud "fuck you, Hunter" chants. So people were recording after the show, and all you could hear was this. Here we have a video. Just speaking on Gunther's heel heat, we have a video of a kid crashing out at Gunther. I think someone, Kios Omar, thank you for recording that interaction. But there was a little kid who was just shouting at Gunther. I'll play the clip right now.
You tell me. What are you gonna do? You tell me. F you! You suck! No one likes you! That's not true. You know what? You just came out of nowhere! Everyone hates you! What are you gonna do? Take my hand! I dare you! I dare you! I'm civilized. I dare you! That's okay.
Now that's something that the kid is probably going to remember for the rest of his life. This might be the beginning of his, you know, evil backstory. Who knows? He might become a wrestler in the future, and this is the moment that clicked for him to be able to make that decision. But it's funny how, you know, Gunther is able to play into it because he's a great heel. This is his, you know, bread and butter, being able to be hated. But I think that was the entire purpose of Gunther winning and John Cena losing. John Cena put Gunther over. Gunther's able to take that heel heat and run with it. I know he's capable of it, but is Triple H's booking capable of, you know, promoting Gunther as the top heel? Who knows? By the looks of it, this year has kind of been in a downfall compared to, you know, the high that was the WrestleMania 40 buildup. I feel like they kind of forgot what they were trying to do. As if Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns or The Rock weren't in the story, then they're kind of confused on what to do or where to put people. Of course, they have the vision going for them, but we'll have to see what they do with them and who the hell the masked man even is, too. That's a story that's building up, but I don't know how long they're going to be, you know, delaying the reveal of the masked man. Probably going to be on that first Raw in January. Again, let me know what you think of this entire tour of this match, Saturday Night Main Event. It did feel like a Saturday Night Main Event match. What do you guys think? Was it positive, negative? Did it leave a sour taste in your mouth? Were you wishing for something else to happen? I'm very curious on what you guys have to say. Maybe I can go through all the comments on another video. Let me know if you guys want to see that as well. But in the meantime, like and subscribe if you want to see more wrestling content. Again, I have more videos on this page. If you want to see me rank all 16 of my favorite WWE theme songs, you can go right here, right there. You can watch me rank them in a tournament. If you want to see me rank every single poster from WrestleMania, you can watch that right here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.